Hey, what do you want to talk about, mate?
Anything. Anything.
Do you know where Steve-O's is?
Yes.
Do you know that left after Steve-O's that you can take to go down to Swanington way?
Yeah.
I was going down there, and do you know that there's that car auction place on the corner, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, there's a parked car like next to it.
Yeah.
As I come around there was this like van in the distance coming the other way.
Yeah.
So I had loads of time. And then I went round that parked car, and then just as I did that, this fucking green like Saxo or KA or something, it was something small, like a small hatchback.
Yeah.
Fucking bombed it round the van,
Right.
and then braked on the other side of the road. So I was like, where the fuck am I supposed to go now? Because that road is quite narrow.
Yeah.
So I fucking mashed both my brakes on. So I stopped. Like, my back end was like fucking swinging out and everything. And I stopped dead. And he still hadn't gone into the other side. He just kept coming towards me. And I was like, he's going to fucking hit me. Like, there's no other way about it. Like, he was just coming straight for me. And that van didn't slow down either. So they were just going side by side across the whole fucking road. And then right at the last second, I was about a couple of feet away from him and he pulled into the other lane. So I turned around and I went to chase him. But when you have an experience like that, where your feet from hitting the front of a car head on,
Yeah.
the amount of adrenaline going through you is just insane. Like, I could barely even notice the back end coming out, and it was like that.
Yeah.
It was like all the way to the side. I barely even noticed it. I wasn't even bothered to fuck about that. And so I turned around, went to look for him, got to the end of that road, and then I looked both sides. I didn't know which way he went. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just turn back around.
Can I ask, was it a bit smoky on his back end
What do you mean?
from the car? Was it a bit black smoky?
I don't know. It looked old and a bit out of shape.
Was it a 106 by any chance?
It could have been.
A green
Dark
106?
green, yeah.
Yeah. With a big plume. If you've seen a big plume of smoke coming out the back,
Yeah.
I probably know who it was.
It wasn't.
I'm not going to state any names.
Okay.
But,
Are they known for that sort of shit then?
yeah.
Why? Like,
Because,
why would they do it?
like, knobheads. But, like, don't really know how to use it. Probably didn't do it to you on purpose, like...
Mate, like, if you'd have seen the... I'm probably, like, remembering it incorrectly due to adrenaline and shit.
Yeah.
But the way I remember it, they went really fast to try and overtake this van.
Yeah.
And then as they got to the side of the van, they slowed down to the same speed. And I was coming the other way. So I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to... If I'd have carried on going, I would have hit him for sure.
Yeah.
But I slammed my brakes on, front and back, and I came to a stop, and they were still going. Like, you've got to have a fucking brain cell. You would at least brake, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You would brake and then go back into that lane. You wouldn't commit to the overtake if there's something in front of you that you're going to hit.
No, you brake and be like...
But he didn't even like try and get into that other lane quickly. He braked, and then at the last second, like the very last second, pulled into that lane. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, you can't blame that on an accident. You didn't know what you were doing. Like,
There's no
there's
no
literally
reason. Yeah.
there's literally no explanation other than being a cunt that you would do that.
Just no reason to overtake there anyway.
Yeah. And I was wearing my good punching gloves as well.
Oh.
You know, the leather ones with the carbon knuckle.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Can't believe you didn't catch him on that.
I would have if I know which way he went, but when you get to the end of that road, like, 'cause I turned around.
He must have been tanking it then.
Yeah. I don't think he even looked when he came out of that junction.
He just fucked off
And that's a busy junction.
he probably knew you was coming.
Probably.
Shit.
I didn't even see which way he went. I just turned around, bombed it to the end of that road, and then I looked both ways and I couldn't see him, so I was like, I'm not going to waste an hour of my life looking for this fucking car.
No, but
Just let it go.
it's not just like him. It's most road users, especially like cars, v-bikes. It's basically that's how it is.
That's the way people see it.
Yeah, and like I don't get it. Bikes are looking for cars all the time, and we have to be like super vigilant.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it's the other way around, like when you're on a main road and you come to a T-junction,
Yeah.
you're doing 60. Fair enough, you've probably gone a bit more than that, and
Yeah.
cars are it's still. So you're doing 60, and you can see a car at a T-junction, and they look at you, and they're like, they sit there for about 5 seconds thinking, can
shall
I make it?
Shall I? Shall I not? Shall I? Shall
And
I
they
not?
wait for the last second when you're right next to them, like, yeah, I can make it, bang, and you have to whack your brakes on.
Yeah, it's because when they start thinking, you're at a certain distance away. When they make the decision, you're a lot closer. So it doesn't register in their head that you fucking moved since they started deciding.
Yeah.
They just think like, they look at it, take a picture, can I make it? Yeah, probably could make it. Pull out. It's like, I'm not fucking there anymore.
No, I'm a lot closer.
I'm 10 foot away from you now.
Yeah, and like when you're so close to them, I can't explain it. It gets on my nerves because there's so many people that do it.
Have you ever had an experience like that was so close, you just decided in your head that you're going to hit it?
What, hit the car?
Yeah. Like, you get to a point where it's that close that you're like, there's no way about this, I'm hitting the fucking car. It's just, where do I want to hit it now?
Well, no, I did have one this morning.
Yeah.
He was turning left, and I just didn't see him, which was my fault. But on the other hand, he did whack his indicator on like last second.
Fucking hate that. I hate that. People that slam their brakes on to turn into somewhere that they haven't warned you about. It's like, what do you expect me to do?
Yeah, but
It's like, you've made an impulse decision to turn. I don't know you're making that decision.
yeah,
So I've got to react to what you do, not what you think.
yeah,
So my reactions are going to be slower.
yeah, because it's like it's got to travel the information.
Yeah, because he's like driving along, not paying attention. Oh, that's my street. Bang, turn. And then you're like, fuck.
Yeah, and you nearly
Smash
hit
your
him.
brakes on.
Yeah,
You nearly hit them, and then the person behind you does the same because you slam your brakes on.
yeah.
So you got potential of hitting them and then getting hit by the car behind you.
But that's happened to me on a few occasions. But how I used to ride,
Yeah.
can remember when I first started, and I used to sit like either middle or near the curb.
Yeah.
Now, if he'd slammed his brakes on, and I was in that,
That's why I
position,
stay in the middle. Like
I
in the middle
was-
of the road.
yeah, I was stay. Oh, you mean like near the white line?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I sit now. And if I hadn't, I probably would have hit him.
I think that saved my life a few times.
Yeah.
Just where you sit in your lane.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, if you sit too close to the curb, if they slam their brakes on, you've got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
If they make an impulse decision to turn left, you've got nowhere to go.
Yeah. It just
Um,
opens your options up so much sitting near
yeah.
the white line.
So I've gone through cars when people have slammed their brakes on. Like, I've gone into the middle of the road and through the two lanes.
Yeah. You
I've
can
had
make
to.
Yeah, you know you can make it.
Yeah. And like, if there's nothing coming the other way, you've got a lot more options.
But I'd say the worst one I've had is I was at a roundabout, going round the roundabout,
Yeah.
and basically I've come down the road and I'm going straight on, and there's a slip road to the left. This is up near the islands towards Meacham, and basically I've gone round the roundabout like that, and this Audi's come down,
Flying off that slip road.
flying off slip road, going the same way I am, but I'm already on this road.
Yeah.
And he's gone like this, going for an overtake. But it's got all them bollards there.
Yeah.
And I can't see. How am I looking for that? Do you know what I mean? I did see him because I checked my mirrors.
Yeah.
But when he first done it, I didn't. And he's gone here, gone to overtake. There's another car, and he's literally got about half a foot next to me. And I've seen him. I'm like,
What, to get in front of them bollards?
no, to get in front of me. He's gone for the overtake on me.
Yeah, but you said there's bollards in the middle of the road.
Yeah, and that's basically drawing him closer to me, so
Yeah,
he can't go
So
run
he's
wide.
had to overtake before the bollards. So he's seen it as, I've got the overtake, I've committed.
Yeah.
So I've got to get it before these bollards because there's another car coming the other way.
Yeah, and that car's coming as well, so he's pushing me even closer.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit stubborn. I'm not moving for you. If you
Yeah.
hit me, I don't give a fuck. You hit me.
Yeah,
And
it would be a lot.
If you start, I'm gonna smash your fucking face in.
Yeah, you need to get out of that mindset.
I know, because
You're
I'll
way
probably
more
die.
vulnerable.
Yeah, but
If you were in a car, fair enough.
I've seen him, so I've gave him a little bit more room,
Yeah.
just for him to get by. But I'm not giving him all the fucking room.
Yeah.
I don't want to be sat in the gutter.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
But people, when are people going to realise, like, if you go to overtake someone and you know you haven't got enough room, or you think that it will be difficult to make it with enough room, you can brake and pull back into that lane.
yeah.
As long as there's nothing behind what you're trying to overtake, which there probably won't be, you can just brake and pull back in, which is what I do all the time. If I go to overtake, I can overtake a lot faster than most people, but if I can see that it's going to be sketchy, I'll brake and go back in.
Yeah.
And then when that car comes past, I'll go back out,
Yeah,
and then I'll look. But I don't commit to an overtake before I know I can make it.
Yeah, you're not
That's
just,
what people do.
You don't sit behind the car and then just like overtake.
Nah.
You pull out a little bit, check.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm good. Let's go.
yeah.
And if you ain't, you pull back in,
And that's why your steering wheel is on the right hand side.
so you can check.
Yeah. But people don't do it. They just pull out and they're like, I need to overtake, pull out, gone.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's another car coming the other way, but they're like, fuck it. I've committed to the overtake now, whatever happens, happens. And that's how people fucking die. But I don't see how we can. I don't think there's any change in that. The only thing you can do is be more aware of a person.
Yeah.
So,
It's down to the
unfortunately-
bikers now, isn't it? Really.
Unfortunately, the responsibility is yours, and you've got to look out for yourself way more than you should.
Yeah. But it's not just dickhead car users that like on the road which are doing it. It's, I don't want to be sexist. I'm not going to be sexist.
More women.
Yeah, right. Naturally, women get a bit more nervous.
Yeah, yeah, I found that.
That's just how it is. It's nature.
Yeah.
Right. I've seen women like, the biggest killer is hesitant. Being too hesitant.
Being hesitant when pulling out of a junction.
Yeah. There's a difference between being hesitant and being safe. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. There's a difference between dangerous and hesitant as well, because being dangerous is pulling out when you know it's going to be close.
Yeah.
Being hesitant is half pulling out when you think it might be close.
Yeah.
So you sort
Just
of
making the situation a lot worse.
yeah. So you sort of like, if you don't make a decision, we don't know how to react.
Yeah.
If you make half a decision, like I had when I was going to work that one time, again, that was a woman. All my closest calls have been women. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying women are bad drivers. Some of the best drivers I know are women. But what she did was hesitated massively. Like, she had loads and loads of time to pull out, and she could have made it easily. Like, this would have been just a normal pull out. But she looked at me, because I seen her look at me. And I think what was going through her head was like, right, it's a bike, I need to be more careful. It's sort of the case, but not really. And so she pulled out halfway into the road.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck do you expect me to do now? Like, because she pulled out halfway and then stopped and then moved a little bit more, so she was taking up my whole lane and then stopped. So I was like, where the fuck am I supposed to go now? Like, if you'd have just pulled out fully, that lane will be open, so I could use that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I have to swerve a bit, but that's fine. The lane's open. But you've blocked the whole fucking lane. So all I can do now is pull into where you just pulled out.
Yeah, basically go onto the pavement.
But I've got to go onto the other side of the road to get that. Because I can't... It's a 90-degree turning.
Yeah.
And I'm doing some speed. I can't make that on the right side of the road. I'd have to go on the other side. And then go on the pavement and through this fucking field. So I was like... That's the choice you've given me.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I did. I fucking slammed my brakes on. When you pull... just so people know, when you brake on a bike, it's impossible to turn.
Well,
You can't brake and turn, because when you brake, the bike sits up.
Yeah, it's just momentum.
It's the same as acceleration.
Yeah.
That's why you accelerate coming out the corner.
Yeah, you don't... You try and accelerate in a corner, you're coming off.
So I was like, I can't hit this corner at speed, so I've got to brake. So I braked, and then I was like, I need to get into this corner, but I couldn't because I was braking.
Yeah.
So I tried to pull it over as much as I could, but I could only get a little bit. And then I literally went through my lane, through this turning, onto the other side of the road, and then stopped on the curb.
Yeah.
And she was still fucking there.
She didn't move or do anything.
She didn't say sorry or anything.
It's because
She just pulled off and went.
You get too hesitant and think, well, I can't do anything now. What should I do? What should I do?
Yeah.
And they just start panicking. Men do it, women do it. It's down to the person themselves. It's not.
Yeah. It's
You know
not.
what I mean?
It's not gender related.
No.
It's just by coincidence that the close calls I've had have all been women.
Yeah.
And the problem, I think, is the thought process. So with men, we're much more practical. We're like, can I make this? Yes or no? Some people are different, but generally speaking, men are like, can I make this? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, they'll go. If the answer is no, they'll stop.
Yeah.
If the answer is maybe, we tend to lean towards no. Unless you're a knobhead.
Yeah.
Women are like, can I make this? Yes or no? Oh, maybe. I might be able to make it, but what happens if I'm wrong? What happens if I'm wrong and I pull out and I hit him and he dies? Oh my god, what am I going to do? But then there's someone behind me beeping. They really want to go. Maybe they're late for work. Maybe I'm holding them up from an important job interview.
Yeah.
And like, they think about all of these things. All you need to think about is yes or no. Can I make it? Yes or no? If it's leaning towards no, stick with no.
Yeah.
If it's yes, but you're a little bit unsure, stick with no.
It's like today, earlier, I was filtering through traffic.
Mm.
And I was already committed to filtering.
Mm.
And I seen that these two wing mirrors, right, they were so close, and I was like, I ain't going to make it. I went flat out. I was flat out. And then I was like, well, just let it happen. If it's going to happen, let it happen.
Yeah.
But luckily, the cars moved.
Yeah.
Just in time, so I just went like that. So I like zigzagged.
Yeah, just tipped him.
Just tipped it left and right. It's things like that. You don't need to be like, because if I had braked.
Yeah, because I'm assuming you're on the white line.
Yeah.
If you're filtering.
Yeah. If I had braked on
they're
that.
the slippiest
Yeah.
parts of the road, except for drain covers. And if you brake hard on those, you tend to skid a lot. So if you were to, like, low side on one of them, slide under a car.
Yeah, and the car didn't realise you're there.
Yeah, then you're done. But if you just hit two wing mirrors, they'll snap off and you'll keep going.
Yeah, they're designed to snap. That's why they snap so easy.
Yeah. I know, because I've kicked one off.
Different story for another day. But, yeah, it's like when you're, people pick up on bikes how to ride it.
Yeah.
Everyone learns. Like when I was first riding, I went to Tesco that time and had to whack my brakes on. Bang. And I was just I don't even know what happened.
You come off.
I don't even know what... I was going sideways.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I saved it. But
Yeah.
I think what I'd done was brakes off and just get it with some power.
Yeah. You won't think of it though.
No.
It's instinct. It comes to you naturally. Like, because when you're every day on a bike and in a car, you learn the controls so well that you can do it without thinking. So
Yeah.
like, after I had my incident earlier, I was a bit shaken up. I really needed a smoke, and all I was thinking about was how much I wanted to punch the guy that was driving.
Yeah.
That's all that was in my head.
Yeah, you was going down that road.
Yeah, I made it all the way home, no problems whatsoever.
Because it's instinct.
Yeah, because I don't have to think about any of the controls, and then even if someone were to like brake harshly in front of me, or there was something in the road, or I had to do something different than normal, I would have been able to do it just because my body knows the controls of the bike.
Yeah.
So it's like it happens automatically, and when you have an incident, when you have some sort of a crash or a near miss or something like that, the same thing happens. Like your instinct kicks in. That's why you always hear after someone's had an incident, it's like, I don't even know what happened. Like you just said, I don't even know how I saved it.
You just
happened. Did.
Yeah.
Like your body saved it.
I don't think people understand how quick you can actually react when you know things.
You can react really quickly.
It's
just habit. When you've got that much habit, you can react to pretty much anything.
And it's like, well, on gear bikes, I mean, you know when you're coming to a fast stop, emergency stop, you don't realise how much you're actually doing.
Yeah.
It's like, so what you're doing is you're putting your clutch in, you're braking,
front and back.
but
the
you're
front
changing
one,
down and blipping and letting out. You keep doing that in the process.
Yeah.
But you're doing it like that.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you've got to stop in under a second.
What I do is, because when you want to go faster, you tuck in behind your screen. When you want to slow down, you lift up.
Yeah.
So you got more air resistance.
Yeah.
So I do that. Front brake, blip the throttle, let down the gears one at a time. And you've got to know when to shift down, because you've got to let that gear play out.
Yeah.
Because that's your engine braking. And then you use your back brake as well, but your back brake you can only do so hard, else you'll skid.
Yeah.
Your front brake you can only do so hard, else you'll low side.
Yeah.
So all of these things come into play. It's not just doing the action, it's how far you've got to do it to.
Yeah.
It's like, how much pressure can I put on the brake without sliding?
Yeah.
So you've got to do that with both brakes while you're doing the clutch and your air brake, and you're thinking about dying.
Yeah.
It's a lot to do.
It's a lot to do in what? A matter of seconds.
About 2 seconds.
2 seconds before you hit a car.
But that's the thing, you do. Like, all I was thinking about was dying, like I said.
Yeah.
All I was thinking about was hitting that car. Everything else was natural.
Yeah.
I didn't think about anything else.
It's just weird how things
just
take
happened.
over. Yeah. It's like with aggression.
Yeah.
Let's say
Yeah,
you're
it's like-
fighting.
It's like when people say, he saw red.
Yeah.
When you see red, it's not literally you see red, it's you lose control.
Yeah.
So you don't have control of what you do anymore. And that's why people say never fight in anger, because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. And that's where some people's really bad mistakes come from. So
Yeah. But
accidentally killing someone.
yeah, like people will say like fighting angry makes me fight harder, or it makes me stronger, or it makes me win fights, or whatever. It doesn't. It's just because you fought someone that didn't know how to fight.
Yeah.
But if you fight someone with training and you quote unquote see red, you'll get absolutely
Battered.
knocked the fuck out.
Because they know how to keep self calm.
Because when you see red, so to speak, you're so reckless that you leave yourself open so many times and you don't even notice. So someone that isn't untrained can't see that. But someone that's trained will just bang, high kick to the head, and you're out cold on the floor. It's like just because you drop your arm a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we were watching Connor the other day.
Yeah.
Like he was fighting a highly trained, world-class fighter, and every time they threw a punch, he threw a counter uppercut. And this is a world-class fighter. So someone that has no training, you just overextend the tiniest little bit. Like you saw what happened to Jose Aldo.
Yeah.
He was undefeated for 10 years. He overextended and got knocked the fuck out in one punch.
And why? Because Connor had pissed him off so much.
Because he was so emotional, he saw red.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. 13-second knockout. And that's what happened to you too.
That cunt got knocked out.
He got knocked the fuck out. His head bounced off the canvas. That looked painful.
That was good.
Can you imagine though, like your brain shaking up in your head? Because I know when I smack my head on something, or when I get punched in training, my brain rattles. I can feel it rattle against my skull. So when you get knocked out and you fall over and your head smacks the canvas,
it's gonna hurt. Well, the thing is like when Connor hit him, he dropped to the floor. Aldo's head came up as Connor smacked his head back to the floor.
Yeah, it was hammer fisting, weren't it? Yeah. Bang, bang, 2 hammer fists.
It's like, do you know them balls on the string?
Yeah. Do you mean with the paddle?
Yeah, with the paddle. Bong, bong, bong. That was basically what Connor was doing to Aldo. Yeah. Bong, bong, bong.
Yeah, but like, did you see? If you watch it in slow mo, when he knocked him out with that first punch, there wasn't a scratch on him, and then that hammer fist made that massive gash above his nose.
Yeah. It's them hammer fists.
The hammer fists don't look that hard. You look at them, you're like, oh, I could take a few of them. But this busted his fucking nose with just one of them.
Yeah. I think that's what caused most damage.
Yeah.
I think he took him off balance with that hit, and then
he was on the floor. I think he was knocked out because his legs went.
That was after the hammer hit, though, if you noticed.
No. With the first punch...
Did his legs go straight and tight?
How else would he fall over? He wasn't pushed. It just clocked him right on the end of the chin.
Yeah. Right
there. And because Connor... It dodged Aldo's right.
Yeah.
Was it his right? I think it was his right hand.
Yeah, and he's come...
And then he's dodged that, and he's just slipped to left. Right into the bottom of his chin, and it just cracked his neck.
Yeah.
That's what knocks you out.
That's the cranking of the neck.
That one. That's the one that knocks you out, because he didn't see it coming either. Yeah, his legs went like jelly.
He went down like a sack of spuds.
Hit the canvas. It must have been a hard punch, because he was going this way, and he landed on his back. So he flipped all the way around. Yeah. Bang, head hit the canvas. 2 hammer fists, and that's all she wrote. Yeah, I need to show you that Michael Venom Page knockout. That was fucking brutal.
Who, sorry?
Michael Venom Page. He's a mixed martial artist from the UK. I'm not sure whereabouts. I think it's London. I'm not sure. And he's sort of like the UK's Conor McGregor at the minute.
Right, so he's
really bad showboater and cocky.
Yeah.
Does like all these dances in the octagon and shit.
Yeah.
He's like, do you know, like Muhammad Ali with a shuffle?
Yeah.
Where he does this shit, like with the arms.
Yeah.
And then he'll just go bang. But, like, he's really good. Like, he's a really good fighter. And I think it was his last fight. I saw the video on Facebook, and this guy went for a takedown at the same time as Michael did this flying switch knee. So right. You know, like the switch kick where you lift with that one and kick with that one?
Yeah.
He did that, but with the knees. Kneed him in the forehead as he was going for a takedown. Like, you know how hard knees are?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And you know how fast you're going for a takedown?
Yeah. Combine
them two, and the result is an indent in his head. Like, as soon as he hit him with it, this guy fell to the floor and, like, grabbed his head, curled up in a ball, and the ref called it. And then I seen a picture of it on Instagram, like, the damage.
Yeah.
It was from Joe Rogan's Instagram, actually.
Yeah.
And it was literally a dome in his head, and then there was an X-ray, and his skull had broken behind his eye sockets, like, all round here. It just, you could see the cracks everywhere, like that.
Just cracked his whole skull.
He broke like 40% of his skull or something.
Was it some off like Mortal Kombat?
Yeah. Oh, it's fucking brutal.
Jesus.
Like, it's the worst MMA injury I've ever seen. By far. Like, even compared to Misha Tate's arm.
When Ronda
armbarred her.
Popped it.
Literally snapped the arm, and it went like
It went the other way. Looked
It
like
went. Her arm went so far that you couldn't armbar it anymore.
no, it's not.
Because she'd used all the leverage.
Yeah,
There was nothing to, like, she was hitting the floor at that point. There was nothing
hips
left
all
to
the
go
way
back to.
extended. And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It was worse than that. This was.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was fucking savage. Never seen anything like it. It was like, if you'd seen the X-ray but you hadn't seen the fight, you would think someone smashed him in the face with a baseball bat. That's how bad it looked.
So someone's had a bit of peanut butter jelly time with a baseball bat. Have you not seen that?
Peanut butter jelly time?
Have you not seen that
No.
on Family Guy?
No, I don't really watch Family Guy.
Oh, Brian. He dresses in a banana suit
Yeah.
and sings peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat.
Right.
Don't ask, you'll have to watch it. It's quite funny.
Alright. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking savage, that was.
So
Like, it was one of them injuries that makes you feel sick just from looking at it.
yeah. So basically, be aware of motorcyclists.
Oh, back to that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. With, hold on. Put it back then, you know. Yeah. With anyone that rides a bike, I think you should know from day one that nobody else looks out for you.
Yeah.
Even if they have a sticker on the back of the car that says "Think Bike, Think Biker,"
That's a load of bullshit because
that's for show.
yeah,
They're not looking out for
No.
you.
I've seen them and they've fucking pulled out on me.
Yeah.
How
I've
you
had
think? Take that, remove that sticker, please.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you don't qualify to have that fucking sticker anymore. But after, I think I'm getting on for 4 years now, riding every day, and I can safely say nobody is looking out for you. Not one person, not even the police. I've seen the police do some bizarre, crazy shit that's nearly ended up in accidents. You can't trust anyone. So, use your instincts.
Basically,
Always.
trust yourself.
Always be on the safe side.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying always be fully geared up and 30 mile an hour everywhere, like
Well, no, because you
ride
don't
like
buy
a
a
granny.
bike.
No, that's not why you buy a bike. But
You buy a bike to have fun,
I'm
but have it safely because it's gonna
yeah.
kill you.
yeah, I'm saying you don't have to do that. You don't have to go to that extreme. However, if you ever face a choice where it's nearing towards dangerous, just don't do it.
Yeah.
That would
Slow
be my
down a lot.
advice. Just don't, like, whatever the situation is, there's always a way to get out of it. So, if you're facing a decision like, I want to overtake here, it's possible, but it's a little bit dangerous. Just
Yeah.
don't do it. It's not worth it. And I've done a lot of stupid shit in the 4 years that I've been riding. A lot of stupid shit
What?
that
I
wish
don't
could
know,
take back.
because you're quite a safe rider.
I am now, but it's moments like that that have taught me to be.
Yeah.
If I hadn't had that, I would still be riding like an absolute dickhead.
Yeah. But the way I see it is you can still do stupid shit safely. I know
can-
it sounds
yeah.
a bit stupid, but
You can do stupid shit.
it's like picking your times, like to do stupid speeds. Like, would you do
Yeah.
it at 6 o'clock when everyone's leaving work? Would
Like-
you hit 150?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
But there's always an element of risk. You gotta
Yeah.
know that. Every time you get on a bike, you've got to be aware that there's always that chance that could be your last time.
Yeah.
You've got to be aware of that. I'm not saying fear it. Don't live in fear of that thought. But just be aware of it.
Well, no, because if everyone had a fear of bikes, no one would be riding.
Yeah, that's not what I want to see. But
No, you want people
But
to be out there and be free and
yeah, but I want everyone to be educated.
yeah.
Because right, a couple of years ago, I pulled into a gas station and I saw a guy on a Hayabusa for the people that don't know, a Hayabusa is I think 1300cc, 200 horsepower motorbike that does about 180 mile an hour, nearing 200 mile an hour. And this guy was wearing shorts, a vest, and flip flops.
Right, that's just fucking plain stupid.
And a helmet, because you have to in this country.
Yeah.
And I just thought, if you even come off at 30, you're gonna have no skin left.
Yeah. I don't think people understand how much what it is. It's like, even at 30, it's like get an angle grinder and put it on your knee.
It's worse than sandpaper.
Yeah.
Because it's way stronger.
Yeah.
Like the floor this is. And then that's not even that's just if nothing is on the road. You got to account for curbs, lampposts, houses, fences, other cars, lorries, vans, other bikes, pedestrians, trees, fucking
anything.
walls. Like, have you like, just watch the TT and then you'll know. Like, it's not as fast as that, but the same sort of shit that happens there could happen to you.
Yeah.
It won't be as fast, but it will be pretty much just as dangerous. Because the difference between 100 mile an hour and 150 isn't going to make a massive difference to the damage it does to you.
No.
You're going to die both ways, basically.
Pretty much.
I'm just saying, wear jeans or something appropriate that isn't going to tear your legs off in seconds.
Yeah.
I've come off in jeans, and it's torn through them. So just bear that in mind. Usually the first thing you land on is your knee, and then your shoulder, and then your head hits the floor.
I think I'm quite lucky at the moment and have like not to come off. I came off at like 5 mile an hour where I just basically walked off the bike.
Yeah. I've come off at 50 and about 30.
And what?
Each time was not fun.
No.
I wouldn't advise it.
No, it's not nice coming off.
No.
I think the worst accidents I've had were on push bikes.
Yeah, push bikes are pretty dangerous, man. Like, I don't dare do high speeds on push bikes just because I've come off at those speeds before, and you should see my knees now. Like, it's just scar tissue all over my knees.
Yeah. It's just like hard skin.
No, it's soft as shit.
Oh, is it?
It's like, because I've cut it that many times that now when I just like graze it, it just splits open.
Oh, yours is like a full-on scar.
Yeah, the whole, like, both knees, the whole knees is just covered in scar tissue.
It's like, I remember coming down a hill once on push bike, and I got cut up by one of the other mates.
Yeah.
And just being a general dick. And I went over the curb. We must have been doing 25. I'd happily say that because it felt like we were going fast.
Yeah.
I was in the highest gear possibly like that could be in. I was pedalling like mad.
Yeah.
And he's just being a dick, puts his brakes on, cuts me up, and I flattened the curb and went head first into a bush.
Really?
I didn't just go into the bush a little bit. I went fucking all the way through the bush.
Really?
I come out and I was like, well, that hurt.
Yeah.
Just scrapes all down my arms, everything. And
Yeah.
really did hurt.
You don't realise, do you?
No.
But yeah, that shit can be dangerous. I think some of my worst injuries have come from push biking.
Yeah.
Because I used to do it quite a lot. Like, not so much in my late teens, early 20s, but when I was like 13, 14, that's when I got my worst ones.
Yeah.
I used to like come off downstairs and shit.
Well, yeah, you was more into your trials, weren't you?
Yeah, but any kind of biking, I've seen some horrific shit.
Yeah. I think, well, like when we used to go out and just go down the woods, that was quite a bad trail.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, you can't just...
Yeah, I came off that one time, didn't I?
Where was that?
Remember the first time I ever went down?
Oh, down on the downhill section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when I hit that rock? I just went straight over the bars. Like, that wasn't too bad. I just sort of laughed that off. That wasn't too bad. But if I'd hit my head on that rock...
Was that the time where you went over and then I followed and... basically followed what you done. I went straight over the rock as well.
I'm not sure.
But yours was worse.
This was the first time I ever did it on that little BMX.
Oh, right.
Do you remember the first time I ever went down?
Yeah.
Just hit that rock. Didn't even see it. Just hit this rock and then flew over the handlebars. And then the bike landed on me. Luckily, it wasn't that bad. I just laughed it off.
It's still good fun though.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not saying don't have fun. Don't do all this crazy shit, because we love doing it, but just be aware.
Yeah.
Push biking, you've only got yourself to blame. But when you're talking about motorbikes, you really got to look after yourself.
You just got to be aware of everyone.
Yeah. I think whenever you do a car test, whenever you're getting ready to do a car test,
Yeah.
or like in the first few months of passing your car test, I think everyone should have to do a CBT.
See what it's like.
I strongly believe that everyone that can legally drive should have done a CBT, just so they know what it feels like to be the victim.
Yeah, be really vulnerable.
Yeah, just to be exposed. Everyone should know what that feels like.
And I know you get these few car users and they'll turn around like, you feel vulnerable, well, why do you do it? Because of that reason I feel vulnerable, I feel free. Yeah, I feel freer on a bike.
There's a lot of reasons, like fun,
it's cheaper.
maybe it's a lot cheaper, maybe you just like bikes. There's loads of reasons. Like me personally, I've tried driving a car and I wasn't very good at it and I hated it. So I was like, fuck this, I'm getting a bike.
Yeah.
Started on the bike and I fucking loved it. So
what do you do? You
don't
just
know,
get on a bike, don't you?
Yeah, you don't know until you tried it. I like the freedom and it's fun.
I've always liked bikes. Since I was little, used to go and watch. Up at Donington, we used to go and watch British Superbikes.
Yeah.
And best one for me to watch was Carl Fogarty.
Yeah, Foggy.
Fucking, he was my idol.
Yeah.
That much of an idol that it took how many years?
10, I believe.
No,
Maybe
it's
even
longer than
more.
that. I was 5,
16.
16 years. Because I hadn't seen him, I didn't know where he was and what. And I had a T-shirt from when I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
Clearly doesn't fit me anymore. And it said Foggy and it had been like printed, signed by Foggy.
Yeah,
But I wanted the real thing.
You wanted the real one.
So, 16 years down the line, and he basically turns up on my front door,
a few
you know,
miles away.
a few miles away at Donington. Free of charge to get in. It's like, sweet. Stood there, walked right in front of me.
Yeah.
Everyone was oblivious, didn't really know what was going on. I just walk over, I was like, yo, Foggy, can I have your autograph, please?
Yeah.
Basically, like, 16 years for this.
Yeah.
Like, fair enough, he's got things to do, so he's not acknowledging a great deal. Like when people think of their idols and they go meet them, they're a bit disappointed and shit. I'll never get like that. But because I know how he's got to be, he can't be like, oh yeah, oh that's awesome, and he's gonna have these thousands of people around him in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So I've just pointed him out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I always give props to celebrities that do take time out for their fans.
Yeah, in which he did.
Yeah.
He didn't have to stop. He could have said no.
Yeah, it's easy for celebrities just to say no, I'm busy.
Yeah.
Like, but you gotta remember who put you where you are.
Your fans.
It's the fans. And so anyone of high status that gives back to the fans, massive credit to. Because it's a massive job. Like, it's a lot of responsibility. You're basically a role model for thousands, if not millions, of people.
Yeah.
And then everywhere you go in public, you're getting stopped to take pictures, sign autographs, whatever it may be. So
most people probably didn't realise who Carl Fogarty was.
Yeah.
Until he went into the jungle.
Yeah.
and it's nice to see if like your idols and shit and how they actually are.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you see your idols and you're like, oh, what the fuck? He's a dick, or
He's
she's
different to what I
she's
thought.
a dick.
Yeah.
I don't really like
Taylor
her.
Swift.
Mentioning no names. Taylor Swift.
Not gonna lie, I would love to meet Taylor Swift though.
Yeah.
She's so
You're gonna
hot.
try and pull her.
I'll try. I don't know if I'd be successful, but I'd definitely
You have a
try.
way of words.
I'd definitely try.
And but anyway, yeah, and he went in the jungle and he was awesome. He won it.
Didn't I?
He became the king of the jungle, and
Yeah.
that had just shown. But yeah.
Yeah, I never really followed superbikes, to be honest. I've always been into GP.
Well, no, I
I
like.
think it's just like, do you know how you get rugby union, rugby, what's the other one?
League.
Rugby league.
Yeah.
I think it's like that. They're basically the same, but it's
No,
different
it's a
people.
different kettle of fish.
That's just the way I see it.
I think.
superbikes and GP are like basically the same thing. They're just different people, different bikes, different atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. It's
Yeah.
probably not true, but that's the way I see it. And so I've always liked Rossi.
I think the thing is, like, when I was 5 and my dad was taking me there.
You remember that shit, don't you?
Yeah, I remember every second of going to Donington, Cadwell, Mallory. But
God bless.
God bless,
Love Mallory.
it's an awesome track. But what I mean is, it's like it's hard to explain.
What are you trying to say?
Well, basically, like,
We will get to the bottom of this.
we will get to the bottom of this when I get my fucking words out of my mouth.
Alright, what are you trying to say?
Basically, the way I was brought up
Yeah.
was on Superbike.
Yeah.
Because back in that day, GP wasn't as big as it is now.
Yeah.
It was big, of course. But it wasn't as big as it is now. Because there wasn't a hell of a lot of travel. So,
Yeah.
like, you got all these Spanish tracks.
It's all over the world now.
It's all over the world. Back then, it was hard for people to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So the British Superbike, it kept it here. People could travel within England,
Yeah.
and I
So
think
for
that's
what-
just what made it popular and made it big for me. Really, was British Superbike.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, you swayed towards superbikes.
Yeah.
And you do remember that shit from your childhood. Like maybe you don't remember every second of it. Maybe you don't remember who won the races or who was even in the races, but you'll definitely remember the feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I stopped watching British Superbike for a while, just other shit, and I go back to it and I'm looking like, fuck, he's still like, you know, you're watching GP,
Yeah.
or F1. Somebody new every year. Oh, where the fuck's he come from?
Yeah, like who are
British-
all these
yeah.
people?
British Superbike, right? I was watching it from when I was 5. Kianari. It's like, Dad, I remember Kianari. He's like, yeah, you should do. We watched him about 15 years ago. Are you fucking for real?
Yeah. Still going strong.
Kianari, fucking, I think his name, yeah, Chris Walker. I think he's still racing, I'm not sure. You had like, oh, what's his name? You got Tosman, but he's World Superbikes.
Yeah.
Trying to think of his name. Like, most of his family raced, and he used to race for H&M Honda Plan. Whatever.
No idea. So I don't follow
Yeah. I
superbikes.
forgot his name. It's been a while. But yeah, idol of my life is Foggy.
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 Ugly bastard though, innit? Hope you're not trying to look like him.
Yeah, clearly. He probably looks better than me.
Let me look at it.
Not got the blonde hair, but it'll do.
I've just thought though, I'm gonna have to, in my day, at some point, try a motovlog.
I've said this to you.
It's something I've always wanted to do, but It's just one of them things that you never get around to doing.
Yeah.
It's just like you got to buy the
GoPros.
camera, the mic,
It's not-
whatever it is.
Not, well, you got the GoPros. They're not really
Yeah,
expensive.
but they don't pick up sound well, do they?
Yeah.
You got to remember it's through your
No,
head.
you buy I think like 30 quid.
Yeah.
Plug it into the GoPro, run it through
Oh,
into your
can you
helmet.
do that?
Yeah. There's quite a lot of motovloggers that do that.
Yeah. Well, I'll just watch a video and see what setup they have.
Yeah. Well, you don't. That's the thing.
Get something similar.
People. That's how you want to start. Yeah. But you soon come to realise that, like, you have a different way of thinking. Like, well, I don't want this big beefy mark in my mouth. You know what I mean? It's like, I get something smaller. Or some people like, oh, I love the clarity. Do you know what I mean? Like, over practical.
Yeah.
It's things like that.
Yeah, and then you got to think about budget and.
Yeah.
I'll do it one day. I will do it one day.
Well, all you got to do is buy a GoPro and
Oh yeah, all you got to do.
they're not
Fucking
expensive.
loads.
They're not 100 quid for a camera,
That's still quite
which
a bit.
records in 1080p.
To me, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, I know. But for what they are, I mean, they're pretty much indestructible.
Yeah. Useful. I mean, you could take it on quite a few of your adventures, whatever it is you do.
Wait, who? What?
I mean, just in general.
Oh, in general, yeah.
Yeah, like you could just.
Yeah, you could go to the outback.
Jiu-jitsu.
Take a video. No, I'm probably not. They'll probably rip it off and start smashing you with it.
No, you're not allowed to strike.
I've
wait.
struck in jiu-jitsu by accident.
I've been struck in jiu-jitsu. I don't think I've ever struck someone though.
It wasn't me. I've never hit you.
Oh, you have, haven't you?
I've hit you about 3 or 4 times
Yeah.
with the elbows.
Yeah, didn't you like?
I went
There was
down
one fairly bad one that you did.
downwards elbow to the nose.
Did you?
To your nose.
I
yeah.
can't remember.
You was here and push my elbow up.
Yeah.
Because I put my elbow into your jugular,
Throat.
into your throat, yeah. And you pushed it up,
Yeah.
and I've raised my whole body to push my weight down,
Oh, and then it slipped
and it
off.
slipped and
Oh,
gone
fuck.
bang into your nose.
Yeah.
Sorry for that, but
I got.
that swatted you.
The other week I got hit in the lip.
Who by?
I'm not gonna say, but
Oh, okay, yeah.
someone small and fast and
Okay, yeah. Stay where you are. I know what you're on about that.
extremely skillful for his young age.
Yeah.
I can't remember what happened, but he hit me in the lip and I had like blood pissing out.
Did he get really like, oh shit? As he
No.
what?
He went, "You bleeding?" I was like, "I'm fine." He was like, "Okay then." And then he beat shit out of me
Yeah.
again.
He stopped doing that with me now. I
Was
think
it?
after I busted his tongue open.
Yeah.
Can you remember that?
I don't think I was there.
I was fighting him and sparring with him. He started doing that spinny shit on top of you.
Yeah.
I pushed him up, and I got him like that. Right, started to roll him over.
Yeah.
Then he does all of his
Spider-Man shit.
Spider-Man shit.
He's so good for his age.
And he was doing so. I don't even know what happened. I think I headbutted him. Yeah. And his tongue was sort of sticking out a little bit.
Yeah.
And he just went bang. We stopped, and he was pissing blood out of his mouth.
Yeah. I get constantly amazed by him though.
Yeah.
Like,
The shit he can do.
yeah, it just makes me wish that I'd started when I was way younger. So like, I think if I have kids now, that'll be one of the first things I get them into.
Yeah, like, just get birth, right, get the gi on him.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like,
Baby Gee.
Baby gi. Is that what you call the kid?
Baby
Baby gi. That's a good name,
I
Baby
might
gi.
Call him Gracie.
Gracie Jr. The 7th. No. The 107th.
Yeah, more like that.
So many of them.
But it's such a good sport for just teaching you life, I think. Like, we've only been doing it a few months, but I've already learned
So much.
so much about, not just about the sport, but about myself.
Yeah.
Do you know, when, like, I advise anyone to go and try it out, especially if you have an ego. If you have an unhealthy ego, go to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. If your
And do it as often as you can.
If your head is that far up your like arse,
Yeah.
that lump in your throat is your nose.
Yeah.
please go and try it
Oh
out.
my god, I know some girls that could really benefit from jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like some really stuck-up people. If they just went to jiu-jitsu for a week, even just a week, I think their ego would be completely destroyed.
Well, look at ours. We went in there thinking, yeah, we're gonna be bad man, blah blah, all this shit.
Yeah, just
And then
like,
you're like,
oh yeah, I've watched a YouTube video on this. I know
Yeah.
what I'm doing. And
Walk
then
in
like,
and
oh my god.
But 2 months down the line, look at us, and
Yeah,
how
like
much has changed.
I think people initially go there to learn how to fight, so that they can fight someone.
But it
But
becomes more about
It becomes when you go and you commit to it, you start to realize the more you do it, the less you want to fight.
yeah. It's more about disciplining yourself not
Yes.
to do it.
Discipline, respect, and not underestimating anyone, because some of these people you look at and you're like, if you'd see them in the street, you would never guess that they could do some of the things they could do.
Or, well, let's put it into simpler terms. Kick your fucking ass.
Yeah, definitely. Some
And-
of these people look like just ordinary, the sort of person you would find driving a bus.
Yeah.
Like just some sort of normal job where you think, oh, they're just a normal person, they don't know shit about fighting, this is what they do, they
Yeah.
drive buses, and then they go home to their wife that shouts at them and they've got a shitty life and they're really depressed and shit.
Yeah.
Like, little do you know what he does in his spare time
Is
and like,
he's a fucking black belt in jiu-jitsu and would wreck you.
not even a black belt, a fucking,
Blue belt.
even a white belt. Like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a white belt. We would both have one stripes if you had your gi.
Fucking giddy, but
But like, even we know so much more than just the average person that's never done it.
yeah.
So like, can you imagine someone that just came into the gym brand new, never done jiu-jitsu in their life, didn't even know what it was, and we rolled with them? How easy would it be?
Yeah.
Like, it would be so easy, and we'd literally a few months in, the lowest belt you could possibly be, and we
Yeah.
could still fuck up someone brand new, no matter how big they are.
Yeah. Well, can you remember the first time we went in and was like, you just like, you sort of freeze and you're like, I don't know what to do. I
Do you
really
remember-
don't know what
Do
I'm
you
doing
remember the
here.
first time we went and they were like, after we'd done a few techniques, they were like, right, we're gonna spar now. And
Yeah.
I literally came to you and I was like, what the fuck do you do in a spar? Like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. Like, I literally don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's about submissions. Like, you're trying to submit each other, but I don't know what a submission is. Like,
Yeah, I
knew
don't
what-
know how to get it.
I knew what a submission was, but I didn't know any submissions. I
Yeah.
didn't know how to get any. And so I spoke to the teacher, and he was like, don't worry, all you've got to do is survive. And I was like, oh shit, now I'm scared.
Yeah. I'm a survivor.
Yeah, and then
pretty
it-
much.
And then he paired me up with the little guy, and I was like, it's got to be a joke. Like, this is a little kid. Like, is he trying to give me it on a plate or something? Like, giving me the easy matchup.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was pumped at that point. I was like, right, I can show off a little bit. Within no less than 10 seconds, I was on my back tapping out, almost with a broken arm.
Yeah.
And I was just like, from that, I think that for me was the big point where I was like, I'm never going to underestimate anyone.
It's a
ever
big
again.
kick in the teeth, isn't it? Really, it's
Like,
it sort of open your eyes.
massively. Because before that, you'd look at someone even fairly big, like even with a generous build,
Yeah.
and you think, yeah, I could take him.
Yeah.
So, and then you look at someone skinny, and you'd be like, not even a competition, like not even worth it. Like,
Yeah.
I'd walk all over him. And then just going into that gym and seeing people like that, like really skinny builds that just look like you could walk all over them, to end up like basically when you tap, it's because you're in so much pain that you want to stop.
Yeah.
That's the idea. And like, you're lying on your back tapping to this person that looks like a weakling.
Yeah. And it was the same like that lad who you went with first,
Yeah,
mentioning no names.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spiderman. We'll just nickname for now is Spiderman.
Mhm.
And when I started sparring with him, I the same idea what you had. It's like, is this a joke?
Yeah, yeah.
And you look at him and it starts sparring, so I was like, I'll be a bit gentle. Like,
I'll go easy on him.
I'll go easy. And then 10 seconds later, he's got my arm, and I'm like, yeah, bang, and my elbow's just like,
yeah, starting to pop out.
starting to go, and I was like, right, I'll put that there. Shake your hand, mate.
Good roll.
Nice
I'm
roll.
done for the day.
And I'm walking away, and he's like, you alright, mate? My ego's too big for you, bro.
Yeah. It's like after, I wouldn't say after the first session, but definitely after the second, my ego was just smashed. Like there was nothing left of it. To the point where now, if someone came up to me and said, "I bet I could kick your ass in a fight," I'd just be like, "Probably could."
I bet you will, mate.
It's like, yeah,
I'm alright.
like, you probably could. Like, I'm not gonna try and act hard. I just accept the fact that I don't know what you can do.
The thing is, but when your BJJ comes to it, your jiu-jitsu, and you did happen to get into a fight,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be hard for you
If they had
to
no
do
training,
what you want to do. Yeah, but what I mean is for you, for people that have learnt this,
Yeah.
and they get into a fight. All right, understandably, you can't really use it in a street fight, but when
Oh,
someone's-
you can.
you can. But
I've seen it used in a street fight, and it's even more brutal than it is to us on the mats.
yeah, because when you're fighting, you. But what I mean is like a brawl.
Yeah, but here's the thing. People that train in martial arts correctly, people that understand the discipline part of it and the respect part of it,
Yeah.
will not go looking for a fight.
No.
And they know how to stop a fight happening. Like, they know how to de-escalate a situation quickly.
Yeah.
So if someone wanted to fight them, they would be able to either change their mind or just remove themselves from the equation.
Yeah.
But if it ever came to a point where they had no choice, then it would be extremely easy for them, as long as this other person hadn't had similar training. But then anyone that has had that sort of training correctly again
Would be in the same boat.
would not walk up to someone wanting to fight them.
No, there'd be no need for it.
No, but like if they did, they'd been taught
Because-
incorrectly.
Because their ego's been dropped. If
Yeah.
they've been taught correctly, all their egos get dropped, but their skill levels goes up.
Yeah. So
So it's like it's
that's the
somebody
way you get better.
Yeah, it's like he's somebody you don't want to fight, but you're not gonna know that.
Yeah.
It's like, can you remember when we used to go on a night out, and fair enough, I used to get a bit aggressive and shit. I'm like, yeah, I'll fucking knock you out and all this shit.
Yeah.
Start jiu-jitsu. We go out now. How am I?
Not the same. You just get extremely passive.
Yeah. Just
So-
like, well, just whatever, I'll leave
I
it
think
there.
the only way I'd intervene now is if someone was getting beaten up and it was unnecessary,
Yeah.
or they took it too far. You'd try and break up the fight, but you wouldn't want to fight that person.
Yeah.
You just want to stop that. You wouldn't go looking for a fight because you know well and good you're drunk. You're in a situation where there's bouncers and police everywhere. Nothing good can come of it.
Yeah.
So your best bet is just to stay out of it all if you want to continue training. Because I think what could happen is if you got into a fight and you ended up going to court and the judge found out that you train in a certain martial arts discipline, they could potentially ban you from training anymore.
Yeah.
And if you're dedicated to it and if you really do like it, that's not what you want, and it's not worth it. I forgot I was gonna say something a minute ago, but I forgot now. Nah, fuck it.
No.
Fuck
Right.
it.
Well, on that note, don't fuck with someone you don't know.
Yeah. All I would say to people that do have this fighting ego,
Yeah.
don't ever pick on someone that you don't know, because you have no idea what they're capable of.
Yeah.
Like, the people seem to think that if you have a history of martial arts training, you look a different way to everyone else. You don't. You look like a normal fucking person.
Yeah.
There is no way you could tell by looking at someone
No.
what sort of training they've had. And people don't realise that you're basically being trained to kill, injure, maim, and hurt people.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you do for hours a day, for years. And their ego is so big, they're like, nah, they'd never get me. I'm too good.
Until it happens.
Until it happens and they end up on the floor with a broken arm in front of all their friends and their girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then, like, what are they going to do? They're going to want to get revenge. So they'll turn to weapons. And then it just turns into a massive shitstorm. So just
Basically,
don't start fights with people you don't know.
yeah, don't start fights with people you don't know, or it's they're going to rip your arm off and slap you on the face with it.
And then feed you your own dick.
Yeah.